Good morning, everybody. It's Tuesday morning. I hope y'all are having a great start to your week. And I wanted to share something that I'm reading because I'm really a student and I love to read. I love learning new things and I love when things challenge the way I think because I think that helps me grow. And I think it helps all of us just open up our perspectives a little bit. Anyway, I'm reading a book called The One Thing by Gary Keller with Jay Papasan, and it's kind of blowing my mind right now. It's challenging my view of how I go about my workday, how I go about my health goals, all of it, because I've always fallen into this multitasker mentality and always felt like I really was bad at it. And I'm still bad at it. And I understand a little bit better now, probably why I am bad at it. And because there's an old saying that to do two things at once is to do neither. And I think we've all kind of experienced that in our lives. Like we feel like we're doing so many different things that we don't feel like we do one thing well. And at least I felt that way in my life. And, so this is kind of that one thing, like Curly says in City Slickers. Let me see if I can boil this down, this particular chapter that I'm reading quickly, and maybe that will help you apply that to, certain things that you're trying to achieve in your life. So multitasking was a term that was really coined in the 1960s, and it had to do with computers, and that computers were going to do multitasks alternately. They were reading code alternately. It was one at a time. The computers could just do it quickly, and at some point that morphed into this multitasking phrase where it became all of the big buzzword and learn how to multitask and do all these things at once, which always made me feel like I was juggling, right? I'm always juggling something. Well, think about juggling for a second, because that is actually not multitasking. To a casual observer, it might look like there's a whole bunch of balls in the air, when in reality, you're independently moving one ball. You're just doing it quickly. So it gives this illusion. Um, so he goes on to talk about how, successful people, achievers, work from a clear sense of priority in their lives. And that got me to thinking about health and how that works in terms of our health. And I've seen how multitasking with your health in the past hasn't been as effective because you can overwhelm yourself. I used to teach fitness, and so I'd see people come into the gym in January and they had all of these good intentions. I'm going to eat differently. I'm going to exercise. I'm going to drink my water. I'm going to take my vitamins. I'm going to, blah, 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 blah. All these things that they're trying to bombard themselves with at once. Well, in a week, they were miserable, sore, couldn't make it back to the gym, and it was too much to intake, and they just quit. So it wasn't very successful, which kind of goes along with what he was saying. I mean, my experiences pretty much played out his findings in the book about people who tried to multitask. So when it comes to your health, and let's just talk about being overweight, in large part, that's due to what you're putting in your mouth. Because if you are going to the gym, and I hear this often, I work out every day. I don't understand why I'm not losing any weight. Well, if you don't have your eating program in check, then you're going to go eat 3 times what you just worked out. How many times have you been to the gym and you said, "Oh, I was so good today. I'm going to go meet my friends for happy hour." And then you've just undone everything you did at the gym. The exercise is a habit of health. It's important also. But let's pick one thing and get good at that. So his findings were that it wasn't about discipline. It was about being disciplined enough for enough days that it became habit. Huge. And their findings were it really, instead of 21 days, it actually took about 66 days to hit a sweet spot. So find your one thing that you want to concentrate on for those 66 days. Be disciplined enough, because when you do the right thing, it can liberate you from having to monitor everything, as these things become part of who you are rather than what you do. All of these other things fall into line. So successful people are doing the most important thing regularly, and as a result, everything else is easier. He talks about not being a disciplined person. Be a person of powerful habits and use selected discipline to develop them. Build one habit at a time. Success is sequential, not simultaneous. And give each habit enough time. So once again, it becomes part of who you are rather than what you do. So I'm going to keep reading The One Thing, and I hope that you find the one thing that you'd like to concentrate on for the next 66 days to find your sweet spot. Have a great rest of the day and the rest of the week.